Well, good afternoon, and welcome to CBS Boston and CBS on YouTube. And a reminder to like and subscribe to us on CBS on YouTube if you like what we've got going here. And I think we've got a lot of good, interesting things on recently. Of course, nothing beats an asteroid headed for Earth. And last week at this time, we spoke with Professor Richard Binzel over at MIT, and we're lucky enough to be joined by him again today with a very important update. Thank you for joining us, Professor.
My pleasure.
About a week ago when we spoke, there was about a 3% chance of this asteroid 2024 YR4 making contact with the Earth in the year 2032. And you said at the time that more likely than not, astronomers would do their work, and within a month or two, that would probably go down to near zero. And here we are just a few days later, and you're telling me it's already happened.
Yes, there's been a lot of diligent work by a lot of my colleagues pasting themselves to the telescope to get follow-on tracking of that asteroid. And now we have enough data to be sure that it's going to miss the Earth entirely. The chances are much less than 1 in 1,000 of it coming anywhere close to the Earth in 2032. So all clear.
So do you have any idea, or can you give us an idea of just how much work, went down in the last couple of days? Was it, I believe I read it was ground-based telescopes that astronomers were using to help make this determination. And what are they looking for, and what did they see that allowed them to think, okay, we are now relatively in the clear?
So the asteroid's fairly faint. So that takes a big telescope. You have to take these long time exposures to see very faint stars, and this object's getting further and further away. And so just the miracle of digital imaging to spot the asteroid and then carefully measure its position in the sky. And so you can see how much it's moved from night to night and how much it's moved over the course of the last couple of months. And based on that long arc that we've been able to measure, we know based on that long arc, we're able to project forward where it's going to be now decades into the future. And we can say with certainty that it doesn't come anywhere near the Earth for many decades to come.
Now, so obviously in just a short amount of time, it's changed for the good. Is there any chance that a month from now you say, hey, well, hold on, we have some more information, or is this it? Or can we just put this to bed? Because I noticed on the graphic we have here, the chance of impact is 1 in 61,000. So it's not necessarily zero, correct?
Close enough to zero that we can all rest comfortably.
Okay, excellent. And we have the Torino Hazard Impact Scale up on our graphic as well, a impact scale that you created. And last week we were at a 3, and you're saying now, as the graphic shows, we are literally at a 0. So safe enough to put this one to bed.
That's right. Once we put these things down to 0, that's a category for no hazard. It's simply so remote that we can move on, and we'll just keep searching, and we'll see what else is out there. They're there. They've always been there, and occasionally we'll find one that we just need to follow up and be sure about.
Okay. Well, that's good news. While I've got you on, we've got something coming up this week that I feel like is worth chatting with an astronomer like yourself, and that's a planetary alignment. Perhaps you could just give us a little bit of an idea of, I think it's been in the media over the last month or two. I think most folks have kind of heard the term and are generally aware that this is going on, but maybe you can just give us an idea of what, solar system-wise, what's happening, what might be able to see.
Sure. So planets are almost always in the nighttime sky. If you know where to look, there's lots of little apps that will help you find them. But it's unusual we get a lot of planets in the sky all at one time, and that will be the case this week. What I would advise people to do is to simply go out and look. And the way to do that is to find a good horizon where you can see the sunset right around 5:30 p.m. Find a horizon where you can actually see the sun setting. And then at about 6 to 6:30 p.m., it'll start getting dark enough that you'll be able to spot Venus, very bright in the western sky. It'll be hold your fists out at arm's length, and Venus will be a couple of fist lengths above the horizon. And then with something like binoculars, you can scan that horizon looking for Saturn and Mercury. They'll be low on the horizon. Mercury is always hard to spot. It's always low. Saturn will just be to the left of Mercury. And then as it gets darker, when you look almost straight overhead, you'll see the brightest star in the sky, which is not a star at all. It's Jupiter. And then kind of in the southeast is Mars. So there's 4 bright planets to see, or that's 5 bright planets to see. And with a little telescope or binoculars and a good finder, you'll be able to see the planets Uranus and Neptune as well. So the grand total that might be spotted this week is 7 planets, and that's a pretty good haul.
That's just about all of them, actually. I assume Pluto is no longer in the mix here, right? So this would be sort of an all play for planets, correct? I mean, pretty much they're all in view.
Well, Pluto's a planet in my book, but
okay.
It's up early in the morning sky. It takes a pretty good telescope to find it. But I think we got them all. And you can add one more by looking down and seeing the Earth.
There you go. So we have a graphic up that shows, in general, it's not a direct straight line. It's more of an arc, and
right.
Maybe you can explain that.
Yeah. All the planets in our solar system orbit in basically the same plane, the same flat path around the sun, including the Earth. And so when we see them in the nighttime sky, it kind of looks like they follow a line, which they do. It's the same line that the sun, if we could see the sun in the nighttime sky or the daytime sky, it's the same path that the sun follows. It's something the astronomers call the ecliptic plane, because that's where eclipses occur. And so if it looks kind of like a line, it's because it is. It's the way our solar system is built.
Excellent. And how rare is it for all 7 planets to be visible in the nighttime sky at one time? Is this like happens once a year, or every 10 years, or is this a really rare event?
Oh, probably about every 10 years or so. The challenge is that Saturn moves around the sky about once every 29 years. Jupiter takes about 12 years to go around the sky. So it's really when those 2 slowpokes kind of line up that you get a chance, and maybe the others are out and about and visible too. So it's fairly rare, but with a little patience and kind of being watchful over the course of the year, you can see all of these planets.
So, and finally, is Friday the best? This is just from some literature I've read. Is Friday the best day to see this? Is this something that we could see in days leading up and days following, or is this kind of like a one-night show?
No, I think basically any night this week is workable. It's kind of optimal on Friday, and even early into next week. And the beauty of early into next week is you'll get a little crescent moon over on the horizon too to kind of join the show. So. It's fun just to go out and look at the night sky anytime. And if this encourages people to go out and get your kids out to take a look and spark their curiosity, that's really the best news of all.
All right, Professor, we thank you once again for the asteroid good news and for what's coming up later this week. We just have to hope that the weather holds out and we aren't clouded in the whole time to see these planets. But thanks again for joining us, Professor Richard Binzel over at MIT. We'll stay in touch, and if we'll chat with you for the next big sky gazing event.
You're welcome. I'll happy to talk to you anytime. Take care.
That'll do it for us here on the stream and on YouTube. Again, a reminder to click like and subscribe on YouTube if you want to see more of this. For now, happy stargazing and have a good rest of the day.